Typhoon Noul just became the strongest storm to hit China this year and one of the most powerful to slam this stretch of coastline in over a decade. It made landfall early Sunday morning near Huidong County on the Guangdong coast, packing violent winds and dumping rain that meteorologists measured in feet, not inches. Some areas were forecast to see up to 2 feet of rainfall. Let that sink in. 2 feet of water falling from the sky in just a few days. And here's the thing about typhoons like this. The wind is almost never the real killer. It's what comes after. Noul weakened once it moved inland, but its circulation kept pulling in enormous amounts of moisture from the South China Sea, which meant the rain didn't stop, it just kept building. So what started as a wind event turned into a flood event. Rivers overflowed, drainage systems in cities got overwhelmed, and in rural areas, entire villages found themselves surrounded by rising water. More than 700,000 people across Guangdong were relocated to safety, one of the largest evacuation efforts the province has carried out. Cities like Huizhou, Shenzhen, Shanwei, and Meizhou all took direct hits, with flooded streets, downed trees, damaged power lines, and transportation grinding to a halt. 15 cities in the hardest-hit zones suspended schools, construction, and business operations just to keep people out of harm's way. Meizhou in eastern Guangdong ended up being one of the most serious flashpoints. Hours of non-stop rain sent rivers and smaller streams surging past their banks, and floodwater spread into towns and farmland alike. Roads disappeared underwater, cutting some communities off entirely. Rescue crews had to bring in specialized vehicles just to reach stranded residents and get supplies to people who couldn't leave on their own. Now, here's a detail that really shows the scale of this. Guangdong's Water Resources Department reported that more than 260 reservoirs across the province had to release a combined 797 million cubic meters. That's not a typo. Nearly 700 million cubic meters discharged to keep dams and flood control systems from failing under the pressure. And this wasn't just a Guangdong problem. China's Water Resources and Meteorological Administration issued a red alert, their highest-level warning for flash floods stretching across 7 provinces, including Jiangxi, Hunan, Sichuan, Shanxi, Gansu, and even into southeastern Xinjiang.
就半个小时没有看就冲上来了，我操！哇，全部都冲上来了，对面那全部冲掉了。太牛了！
拉一个奶大的人。
Here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Southern China had already been soaked by weeks of heavy rain before Noul even arrived. That means the ground was saturated, rivers were already running high, and reservoirs had less room to absorb anything new. Noul didn't hit a dry region, it hit a region that was already at its breaking point. That's exactly the kind of setup that turns a bad storm into a genuine disaster, because the danger isn't just today's rainfall, it's rainfall stacking on top of rainfall that never had a chance to drain. That combination, saturated soil, swollen rivers, and more rain on the way, is also why officials are now watching for secondary disasters. Landslides and mudslides are a real risk in the mountainous parts of Guangdong and neighboring provinces, especially along smaller waterways that can rise incredibly fast with almost no warning. Transportation across the region has taken a major hit too. Railway services have been suspended or adjusted, highways have been restricted, and both aviation and maritime operations have had to scale back to keep passengers and crews safe. As of now, emergency teams are still on the ground across the hardest hit areas, monitoring river levels, inspecting flood control infrastructure, and helping communities that are just beginning the process of cleanup and recovery. Authorities say the risk isn't over yet. With ground this saturated, even moderate rainfall in the coming days could trigger new flooding or landslides. We'll keep following this story as more information comes in from Guangdong and the surrounding provinces. If you want to stay updated on major weather events like this one, make sure you're subscribed, because storms like Noul are becoming more frequent, and understanding how they unfold is the first step to understanding how communities can better prepare for the next one.